Hello, and thank you for joining me. My name is Erin, and I am one of the international recruitment consultants for Healthcare Australia. You are receiving this audio recording because you have either recently attended a local seminar, or you have joined us on a roadshow, or simply have requested more information about what living and working as a nurse in Australia is all about. HCA has several different divisions under its umbrella. We cater to nurses, midwives, we have an allied health team, we have a dedicated doctors team, and we also have a carers division which specializes in the disability sector of Australia's metropolitan regions. When you join HCA, you have a choice. You can choose between the flexibility of agency and ongoing shifts. You have the option to do short-term contracts in our rural and regional areas of the country, and you also have the choice to look at more permanent options if your goal is to relocate to Australia more permanently. While I'm on this slide, I just want to take the opportunity to announce that our free flight promo that we were running for 2017, it was so successful that we have extended it through to 2018. So when you join our agency and you work 500 hours within that first 6 months, we will reimburse your flight to Australia up to $1,000. In order to work as a nurse in Australia, you're going to need three things. You need to have the experience, you need to have the rights to work, and you need to have registration with the Nursing and Midwifery Board of Australia, or the governing body known as AHPRA. For our Kiwi nurses, AHPRA registration, successful applicants need to be registered with the Nursing Council of New Zealand and have a clean and valid AC. If you tick both those boxes, you are able to download the Trans-Tasman application that you need, fill out the form, provide any other supporting documentation that they request of you, and post it to any of the AHPRA offices. Part of the application is also an international criminal history check. This is an online form. It is part of your registration, and it is done by a third-party provider that AHPRA have nominated called Fit to Work. Once all that is complete, the processing time on average does take about 4 weeks, from which you will have your registration number for Australia. As far as visas and rights to work go, there are really four of the more popular options. There are the New Zealand passport holders. If you have one of these, you do not require any additional visas to work in Australia. If you are keen to go over and work for a short period of time, but do not have New Zealand citizenship, you may be eligible to apply for a temporary work visa referred to as the 400, the short stay visa. If this is something that you'd be interested in, our international consultants will be able to walk you through how this process works and if you are eligible for it. Another option, again, if you do not have New Zealand citizenship or, of course, Australian citizenship or residency for Australia. Another option would be the sponsored visa, which is referred to as the 457. It is a temporary visa. At the moment, it is valid for 4 years, and you are required at the moment to work with the same employer that sponsors you for 2 out of those 4 years. We do work with a number of different public and private hospitals that offer sponsorship. Again, if this is something that you'd be interested in looking into, one of our international consultants will be able to walk you through the different options that would be available to you. And again, the other option as well would be the skilled or permanent visa, otherwise known as Australian residency. It is points-based, and it will, if you're looking to move over to Australia more permanently and you do not hold a New Zealand passport or citizenship, this might be a really good option for you to pursue. All of this information and more visas are available at www.border.gov.au, And like anything else, if you have any specific questions about visas, we would highly advise that contacting a certified immigration consultant is definitely not a bad idea. When you join us for our agency nursing, there's four things that really stand out. The ability to be in control of your roster, the ability to be able to move and travel and transfer to any of the states and territories, claim that free flight that we are extending through to 2018, and have the convenience of using our EHCA app from your phone or tablet to do everything from book yourself in for shifts, change your availability, and take a look at your timesheets. At the moment, we have been running, and we continue to do so, agency incentives, reasons why you should join us. These do change from time to time. There's always something new that we're adding to it. At the moment, we are again running the free flight promo. There has been a joining bonus as of the last couple months. When you joined with our agency, you got a signing bonus of $250 cash after you hit 10 shifts. We have a rewards program as well. For every hour that you work with HCA, you're able to exchange that point for Qantas frequent flyer points or gifts. We have a refer a friend scheme for every nurse that you refer to our agency. And again, you also have the ability to float between doing metropolitan and rural contracting with real ease. Just to give you an idea on the hot jobs that are on right now for agency, we do have some block bookings that have been going on. Darwin has been a hot spot at the moment for specialty nursing and midwifery, theater, ICU, HDU. We do have accommodation available in Darwin for our nurses, and you're also eligible for the free flight promo with that as well. We also have some block bookings that have been going on in northern Sydney. This is for primarily oncology and chemo with a little bit of med surg as well, and also specialty theater nurses, particularly with ortho and neuro experience. This particular hospital has on-site accommodation as well, highly subsidized. And again, you get the free flight promo included with this. And we've also had some serious block bookings in regional Victoria for ICU and midwifery. Some of these locations come with accommodation, some do not. You need to source your own. One of our international consultants will be able to walk you through what's available at the time or what you prefer. And again, the free flight promo, of course, is included as always. Contracts. We have a bad habit of referring to these as rural contracts, but in fact, they are either regional, rural, or remote. They all fall under the same umbrella. And when you're working in any of these areas that are outside of the metropolitan areas, it's going to allow you to be able to experience a different type of lifestyle and interact with the locals and really just beef up on your clinical experience in an environment that you may not be able to be exposed to here in New Zealand. We do have a dedicated rural team. The international recruitment consultants that are based here in New Zealand are here to help you and assist you with the admin. And once you're ready to go, we'll hand you over to the rural team and they will be able to discuss with you what contracts are available based off of your skills and the time frame that you were planning on being in Australia and working. Accommodation is something that is always provided with these short-term contracts. It looks different for each individual hospital and location, but it's something that you will not have to fret around with and will be provided to you. You are also able to check out up-to-date incentives for rural, Q&A, any bits and pieces that you'd like to know more about through our website. The link is right there, but if you go to healthcareaustralia.com.au and simply search rural and remote, you'll be able to find information on us. These are 3 examples that I just wanted to be able to reiterate to you guys. These are real life nurses. The one on the far left, agency nurse with 2 years experience, and in this case came from the UK. After she started and had worked 9 shifts, she herself had already made just under 5K. Again, this is a real nurse coming from overseas working in Australia. We also have another example in the middle of an agency nurse who didn't stay stagnant in one particular city. She bounced around to experience all that she could. She worked across 3 different states once she arrived, and after 125 shifts, she had just earned under 75K. And we also have an agency nurse who, I believe this one came over on a working holiday visa and just absolutely fell in love and decided that she was never going to leave. She did require a work visa though. When she arrived, she started with our agency and worked across 2 different states. She got in contact with our permanent team located in Australia asking for assistance. And later on, we were able to offer her a sponsorship through a hospital in Australia. Just taking a step back a little bit, back to the rural contracts and such. These are a couple of the incentives that we have been running as of lately. There is free travel, total unaffordable free travel, and reimbursements on your rural short-term contract. All you need to do is commit to a minimum of 6 weeks, and you're in the drawing. We also have the HCA points system as well, like agency. However, when you do a rural contract, it's 2 points for every hour that you work. We have an education allowance as well, which I think is so cool. When you commit to a 6-week contract or longer, you are eligible for up to $500 a year in reimbursements for your professional development. If there is a particular course that you wanted to take in Oz, if you wanted to update your ACLS, if you wanted to sign up for a Crana Plus, all of these things become more realistic for you to achieve. And we also have a Refer a Friend program as well, which is part of agency too, but really good for rural. You get $1,000 for the nurse that does the referring, and it's $200 gift card for the nurse that joins on. Again, you must do a minimum 6-week contract to be eligible. I just wanted to take an opportunity to explain to you how important it is to have a killer resume. Anything that outlines your professional skills, your education, your professional development, and clearly lists what your current and previous roles were, how long you were there, what you were doing on the day-to-day is so important. Obviously, if you're going for a permanent job, that's even more so the case. But it is important as well for rural contracts. We sent through your CV along with your completed references to the hospital that you are looking to do a contract with, and they ultimately decide if they want you on their team. So think of your resume as that window, that ticket in. It's your first impression to your potential new employer, whether it's permanent or contracted. So you want to put your best foot forward. And this is just an example on what you can do in order to structure your CV and keep it clean and tidy. As far as permanent opportunities go, these are very up to date. These are current vacancies that we are recruiting for. And as I'm looking at the list, I do believe that every single location on here is offering sponsorship at the moment. So Mount Isa and Wagga Wagga, those would be more regional, rural type base hospitals that are needing nurses. Melbourne, we are working with a private hospital outfit that is primarily looking for critical care, ICU, HDU nurses, and theater. So that would be a good option if you were looking to stay in a private sector. Sydney as well is screaming out for critical care, ICU and HDU nurses and specialty theater. Again, if you've got ortho, vascular, CT, neuro, That's all excellent. And Adelaide as well. Adelaide is looking for scrub, circulating, and PACU nurses. Even better if you have all three, as well as ICU and CCU. Their CCU would be a combination of unit and ward work as well. They are offering sponsorships. They do have competitive pay. They have on-call allowances. You get a solid 4 weeks annual leave because this is a private hospital, so they have their mandatory shutdown period. And they really do believe in a proper work-life balance. And they are offering flexible FTEs to allow you to be able to achieve that. I mentioned in the beginning of this recording, but just another shout out. We do have an allied health team that's physically over in Australia. So if you have any colleagues that are physios or OTs or MRTs or sonographers, and you know that they would be keen to do some locum or contract work in Oz, you can send you can send them our details as well, and we will forward it over to the proper consultant based off of their scope. Same thing goes for doctors as well. If you have a doctor mate that wants to go over and do some locum or contract work as well, same thing. You can have them send their details through to our New Zealand office as well, and we'll make sure that it gets to the consultant that looks over their particular field. And for any of you who are physically located in Auckland, we have recently moved offices. We are in Uptown at the top of Simmons Street in Eden Terrace. I've also included our PO box on here. If you've been working with one of our consultants already and you perhaps have been sent through the documentation for a rural application form, the PO box is a very safe place to have paperwork like that delivered. So hang on to those details. We've got our office number on here as well, and you can email us directly at nz@healthcareaustralia.com.au. And also, last shout out, we are all over social media. We've got a number of Facebook groups. All of our people are connected on LinkedIn. We do post jobs on LinkedIn as well. We have a presence on Instagram. You can follow us on Twitter, and you can add us on Snapchat as well. So, again, thank you for taking the time to listen to this PowerPoint. I hope it was informative, and we look forward to working with you more in the future. Thank you.